Love you, Leeds. Cheers, my boy. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. I'm absolutely delighted today to be joined by Andy Mcveigh, also known as the Burley Banksy, absolute legend. If you haven't seen his stuff around Leeds, then yeah, he must be living under a rock. So he's a little bit of him everywhere, I think, at the minute around Leeds. So yeah, I'm really thrilled you're here, mate. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
No worries. No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Imagine not being Leeds indeed. Life would be very boring, wouldn't it?
All them poor buggers, mate, who don't know what it feels like to love this club. In the highs and the lows, it's a phenomenal club we love.
It is. It's pointless being a Man City fan or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because I know there's finally having a taste of the real world in the last couple of months, but it's just boring, isn't it? I'm glad of the ups and downs. It's like in life, innit? You've got to have the bad to appreciate the good. And what's the pointless winning every trophy going? It just gets boring, doesn't it?
100%, mate. I mean, I won't say no to a couple of 5-0s in a row, but I don't want to.
No, yeah. I mean, odd trophy would be nice, wouldn't it? An odd trophy would be nice. We got one 5 years ago, didn't we? So
we did. I agree. But I like Jeopardy in sport. I quite like. It's decent this season. A little bit nervous. We'll touch on this season later on, but like last year, really good year. Heartbreak at the end, but then this season, most weeks I'm going to work happy on a Monday morning, and most weeks it's not too bad. Top at league, it's going okay, isn't it, to be fair? So, and then next year we know what we're probably facing, Andy. We're probably going to be struggling. It's one of them, and it's football.
But there's always something to play for, isn't there? That's the thing. And for a lot of clubs, there isn't, is there? And you go to every game thinking, oh, we've got to do something today, or we need to win this, or we can't lose. And some clubs, it don't really matter. And and if we do go up, we'll struggle next year. We know we're going to struggle, but again, every game will matter, won't it? So do you know what I mean? It'll be worth turning up for, sort of thing.
100%, mate. Let's get a few of these comments, mate, before we dive into it. Only Leeds Bros, my first ever super sticker, whatever it's called. Thank you so much, Darren. Cheers, my mate. Thank you. Evening, Matty and Burley Banksy, says Danny. Evening, all. Evening, Matty. We love you, Leeds. Yes, we do. Hope the shop's going well, Andy, says Danny Talksport.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Evening, Matty and Andy. Is this the guy who's opening the shop in the Merrion Centre? Yes, it is. No piddo, no party. This is Andy Mcveigh. This is the Burley Banksy. Get yourself in there and spend some money. It's well worth it. I've done it myself. I've got a T-shirt on that water Wembley. Maybe it's my bad home and I don't know, but I had to show a bit of love today. Tickle those likes. Yeah, cheers. So yeah, let's dive into it then, Andy. So we'll go back to your first sort of memory. I'm interested to know your first memory as a Leeds fan. How far back are we going here?
We're going back to 1980, and I'm just a little kid, and I go to Forest v Leeds. First ever game, Forest v Leeds. Brian Clough's Forest. It's a cup game, FA Cup. I've got programme from it. And I don't know how my mum allowed me to go because I went with some bigger boys. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I went in boys' pen. It was 50p and it was horrible. We got absolutely hammered. I think it was 4-0 or 4-1. I think people like Kevin Hurd were playing. And I remember him chucking loads of coins at Peter Shilton from Cop.
You did?
No, I was too little. I wasn't, but Cop were chucking it. We're all, you're going to get your effing heads kicked in, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Peter Shilton must have made about £3 from all 50p's that were chucked at him. But it wasn't nice, if I'm honest. For a little kid, it were really aggressive. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't go again then until I were, sort of, I don't know, 86-ish, I think. And then I started going with some mates same age, and I think that were an Ian Baird era game. I think it was Plymouth or something. And it was that classic thing of intoxication of it all. Do you know what I mean? You're on cop. I were on cop. You're going up and down on steps, aren't you? With every goal and every sort of attack and noise and just that classic thing of just like, wow. And you're watching live sport really for the first time. It's an amazing thing, isn't it? As for a young kid, it's this isn't happening on telly. There's no replay. There's no rewind. This is happening right now. It's like when I first went to my first gigs, same kind of thing, innit? That this is a one-off thing tonight that can't be repeated kind of thing. And it was just so addictive. And that were it then. I were buggered. I were in. Do you know what I mean? It's like the mafia, innit? They pulled me in. And,
of course it is.
And that was it.
Do you have any family connections to Leeds, or was it sort of just you yourself as a young lad wanting to go?
It was just me, because my dad went into football. into sport. Do you know what I mean? So it was just me going with some mates, and we were all from Leeds, obviously, and it's our club and it's our town, it's our city. But it was just mates, yeah. And I played football as a kid. I was rubbish. Do you know what I mean? Rothwell Juniors.
Really?
You know, that's about the level. Do you know what I mean? Alan Smith for Rothwell Juniors, but nowhere near. But yeah, it was just that one game. I remember just being completely wow, just proper adrenaline buzz and all that addiction and all that kind of thing, and that was it. Yeah, but it was just me and my mates really.
Did you start going more frequently around the Wilco era? Did you go?
Yeah, well, I got my season ticket then. So I got a season ticket for Cop. It were affordable. I think it was about 100 quid or something, 130 quid. I don't know what it was. And I had a season ticket for years and at Cop, yeah. So that were late 80s, 90s, Wilco, and unbelievably lucky to see, obviously promotion and winning first division, unbelievably, yeah.
Okay, what was it like in Leeds around that time? Because obviously we'll get into Bielsa era, and obviously we know what it was like in the city. Then, what it a different feel then, or what the city buzzing with getting promoted and then winning league 2 years?
Not quite as much as Bielsa, I think, because football was still not as mainstream, if you like. I don't think it was obviously still massively popular, but it won. The Premier League hadn't kicked in, and this whole new generation of kids watching Sky and Premier League and everything that kicked in. So, but I mean, still, yeah, I mean, we were still on streets when we won league and City Square with carnage and all that kind of thing. Yeah. So, and there were a buzz because we've been rubbish for ages, a bit like the Bielsa thing. We've been rubbish for ages, haven't we? Stuck in doldrums at second division for a long time, and Wilco did a bit of a Bielsa, really.
Do you feel like he don't get the credit he probably deserves, Wilco? He mentioned, I don't hear his name mentioned half as much as I think he should do what he did.
Totally, because he did the similar thing. I mean, he took a load of really bog standard players, and he created this incredible. All right, we won the league, and we had a few internationals, Tony Dorigo and stuff like that. But still, that entire team that won the first division, I think, cost £6 million.
Wow.
And there was all this play, so-and-so with 400 grand and Strachan with 300 grand and McAllister was £1 million. That was the most expensive player in the side, maybe, I think. Carl Schutt. Players like Carl Schutt contributing to winning, what was going to be the Premier League and stuff like that. And he had a proper team spirit going. People like Mike Whitlow, for God's sake, Peter Haddock. Very unfashionable players who did what Bielsa did, like with Ayling and Dallas and Coops,
Yeah.
And he don't get the credit, and you get promoted, and then the year after that you win. It's like somebody getting promoted this year. Who got promoted this year? Leicester, I don't know, or who else did? Ipswich. It's like Ipswich surviving this year and then winning Premier League next year. I mean, that's completely insane, isn't it?
No, it really is.
And I don't think that'll ever happen again, ever.
I don't see that, man. No, I mean, Leicester won league, but they've been in Premier League a fair few years, I think. And I just don't see it happening. Like you say, it's a crazy thought, and I think I watched a video here earlier, and it was like saying Luton, instead of coming down, had won Premier League this year. Do you know what I mean? After going up, it's a crazy sort of moment that, and like I say, Wilco were a bit before my time. I was born in '87. My main memories are around that 2000 era when I were in high school, and the old lady coming into those, and the Wilco era sort of like passed me by a little bit. So I've just got YouTube to thank for some wonderful times there and looking back. But yeah, I'm sort of jealous when I speak to the old guard and I speak about the Don Revy, then I speak about people maybe 10 or 15 years older than me who can speak about the Wilco days. And I ain't got many good memories really after the Champions League semi-final, have we? It's one of them. Years later, it's so many years indulgent until that absolute genius walked through our doors.
Yes, I know, and we can go on about him forever, can't we?
We can. I mean, it's one of them. How old's your son? You've got a son.
He's 21 now. He's down. Just spoke to him tonight.
His best memories are just to Bielsa. You know what I mean? It's one of them like that generation. They've only got 2 or 3 years to sort of cling on to, aren't they, really? It's and that might be all they ever get again. We don't know.
I did tell him that. I said, I think we got promoted and when he was 17, something like that. And I said, I think your Leeds United life has peaked already, mate. I think this is it.
How awful is that?
I know, anyway, at 17. But I mean, he were going to games when he was little with me, Gillingham and all these teams coming to Yeovil Town and stuff, and he just got used to that's how Leeds were, it would dreadful. And we went home and away as well, you know, because you could get away tickets. There's no one was that bothered about going. But we still loved it. We still enjoyed it. But that I'll never forget when Bielsa came, and you know those first 2 games, Stoke and Derby away. We watched Derby away on telly. We were camping somewhere with my mates and their lads. We're all Leeds fans, and we watched it in a pub. And I always remember him saying, "Dad, what is happening? What is going on? We've turned into Real Madrid. What is this really happening?" And I said, "I don't know." I said, "Let's give it another couple of games because it might be 2 fluky games. This, you know." But it were amazing to watch him and his 2 mates, their faces, like as I think the 4th goal went in against Derby away, like playing like Barcelona and Real Madrid combined. It was bizarre. It was just.
Absolutely class times, mate. Like I say, I've got a bit of a section on that, which is it's probably best memories I've ever had in football. To be fair, as I say, I'm 37. I'm not exactly young, but it's the best time I think I've ever felt as a sports fan. I'm a big rugby league fan, big Leeds Rhinos fan, and they've won everything in my childhood. That couple of years under Bielsa was just something else. But I'd like to get into. Obviously, you went to university, you graduated, you become a teacher. Really interested to know. I mean, I know a little bit about you now, but I assumed you were either an art teacher or a painter and decorator or somewhere along the line. You've done some sort of painting. Turns out you were a PE teacher. Is that right?
Oh, no. Yeah. When you're primary, you choose a subject to specialise in. So mine were PE. So you do your degree in PE stroke primary ed. So no, I didn't even do art GCSE, to be honest. Crazy. But I always loved design and stuff. I think I always, you know, I was obsessed with record sleeves and what they look like, and you know, I used to buy records just because I thought the sleeve was cool. And I was always doing a lot of calligraphy when I was a teenager. I used to always doodling and doing lettering and fonts and stuff. And I used to drive my teachers mental because I'd write one essay in one font and then the next essay in another font. Yeah. And they'd go, "Can you just do the same handwriting every lesson, Andy? Because I don't know whose work this is," kind of thing. So and I always loved footy kits and how they looked. And and I got into music and clothes and trainers and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I'd never done any drawing or any art or out. So I did a lot of, you had to teach art in primary, you know, and I tried to make it. But a lot of the time it were a bit boring, you know, we're going to draw Van Gogh's sunflowers again. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a lot better now in primary. I think they do a lot more relatable stuff, you know. But yeah, so I was PE. So I did all footy coaching and girls football and lads football and all millions of different sports and all after school stuff. And
so you were cool teacher then, weren't you, Andy? You're the cool one. If you do PE, you're the cool teacher, I think.
Well, but also I tried. I used to do a topic on Beatles every year with kids. Class. I used to teach Key Stage 2, you know, year 4, year 5. And I used to take my drums in. We'd do a topic on Beatles, 6 weeks on Beatles. Like you do art, music, you know, literacy through it. Even I took them to Liverpool on a school trip. Wow. So I loved it. Yeah. And I still get kids coming up to me now, like late 20s or whatever, even 30, saying I still remember doing that topic at race. And I picked up a guitar because of it, you know, and now I'm into music, or I'm in a band myself now and all that. And you think, oh, that's great, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
No, that's class. And just a quick one, do you like Wayne's profile picture, mate? I assume that's you on that little picture there.
What? Sorry?
Wayne, his little picture there, I think it's for you. I think he says, "Does Andy like my profile picture?" I assume that's you.
I can't see it.
He's had a selfie with you, I think. Well, it looks of it. It's definitely you that on left, mate.
Yeah.
You get about just a quick.
That whole selfie thing's a bit weird. I don't know how to deal with all that selfie thing.
Well, I heard on your podcast that I watched earlier where you've only ever had one selfie in your life, and it with a main man Bielsa, which I love. And you've met a lot of celebrities. You said a lot of people you admire, but that guy you had to get one.
I did. If I met Paul McCartney, I'd have one. I think I'd have one with Paul McCartney.
That's fair.
And I once met Woody Allen, would you believe? Who I love his movies. Before I think he's got the dodgy past now, like a lot of these guys have. But that were a long, long time ago. But it's before the age of mobile phones, so I couldn't have a picture with him.
Of course. Just a quick idea, mate. No pit or no party says, when does Andy's new shop open? Where is it in the Merrion Centre? And is the other shop closed? When I walked past the other day, I was upset, but now I'm happy he's opening a new shop. So whereabouts is it in Merrion?
Right, other one's shop. It's at the other end of the Merrion, so it's on the balcony It's above. Well, there's this like Blue Rinse vintage shop, which is really big, and just above there's a balcony. I'm just above there on the balcony. It opens on Friday, so in 2 days. I'm just going to do Friday, Saturday, Sundays for the next few weeks just to see how it goes. Like on Saturday, I'm going to have to zoom off at match. So I'm going to open until 2 when there's a match day, and zoom off at match and get there at like 5 to 3. 12:30 kickoffs are a nightmare because then I can just go in till 11:30 and then go to match and then come back for an hour. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
I love how the football comes first, Andy. If it's an
I've
home
got to
game,
go. Yeah, I can't miss match. I'm not missing match.
Mate.
And I would have thought most of my potential customers would be at match anyway, wouldn't they? So
to be fair, yeah, 100%, mate. Sean says here, the Burley Banksy, when is the Jesse Marsh Mural coming, lol? Oh, well, I'll tell you what, Andy, there's a little segment here on someone painting over your stuff at some point, and I think I'd paint over a Jesse Marsh one, pal. I'm not going to lie.
You know what? I met him because I work with Leeds United Foundation now, and you occasionally get these staff dues and players and managers there and stuff. And I met him, and as a bloke, he was lovely. He was really considerate. He was really gave everybody time in foundation. He made sure he spoke to everyone. He was very humble. You know what I mean? And as a man and as a people person, I think he was really great. And he made everyone feel important. Everyone said that in foundation, he made everyone feel they were worth something. But as a coach, it wasn't great, was it? There won't be a Jesse Mural, I'm afraid not.
Does the Burley Banksy know the real Banksy? I'm not sure you do you, mate? You admire him. Do you know him?
I do.
Oh, really? Wow.
No, I don't know him. God, no. They think it's this Robin Gunningham bloke, don't they?
Yeah, yes, I've heard, yeah.
This guy called Robin Gunningham. They think it's him, and I did speak to somebody who said he knew his mate's mate and all that. Who knows? But he says, yeah, it's that guy. But I do wonder if maybe he might have heard of me somehow. He might have seen something on the internet somewhere, and I thought, hopefully, he won't be annoyed with me for calling me Sen Burley Banksy, because it wasn't, it wasn't really meant to be for a laugh, it wasn't meant to be a jobber out. So hopefully he'll understand and not sue me. You know what I mean?
How did that name come about again, Andy?
I just made it up for laugh. I'd painted a couple of crap boxes, and my mate said, "You're gonna have to put your name on them." And I said, "I'm not putting Andy Mcveigh on it because I was only painting over it to get rid of graffiti." And I just said, "Oh, I'll just call it Burley Banksy for a laugh," because they were only street artists I'd ever heard of, like most people. And I live in Burley, and it's alliteration, isn't it? So, but it wasn't meant to go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So
it blew up, though, didn't it, mate? It bloody blew up for you.
It sort of snowballed a bit, yeah.
It did, mate. Did the Burley Banksy ever have a Vinny haircut back in the day?
Do you know I didn't? Because I were always into Stone Roses and stuff. So I had I had the Ian Brown thing, yeah. So, but yeah, it's coming back. Even players have got it now. Have you seen it? It's all shaved down there and shaved into a V in it at back. Yeah,
they have, mate. Yeah.
There's a Man U player's got it. Pirot's got a bit like that. It's just a fashion thing now, isn't it? Yeah. So I loved it, man. I loved Vinny.
We didn't have him nowhere near long enough, did we? What was it, a season? 2 seasons? A season?
It was a season, yeah. And then a tiny bit more, but he hardly played, and he was devastated, wasn't he, old Vinny? He was heartbroken.
It's mad, isn't it, the amount of players, mate, that come to Leeds who aren't Leeds fans growing up, even like Jermaine Beckford from down south, and they're just lovely. Ross McCormack from Scotland. They end up just supporting Leeds for life, no matter where they're from. I think Vinnie Jones, you see him at Ellen Road as well. Same.
Oh God, yeah.
It's mad when you look at it. I mean, I don't know who we supported. Maybe it was Leeds, but I'm pretty sure some of these players, weren't Leeds fans. They had other passions for other clubs, and they play for them. Whether it's 1 season, 4 seasons, 5 seasons, and they just fall in love with culture. They fall in love with the city, and that once you're a Leeds player, you're pretty much always a Leeds.
And those kind of lads like McCormack and Vinny, they gave their all, didn't they? They gave their all, and if it's that cliche, but if you give your all for Leeds, you're revered for life, then, aren't you?
100%.
And Vinny played well, and he was brilliant. People forget this. He was brilliant with fans. He used before every game, because I used to watch him. He used to come and warm up and everything. And he would always go over to disabled fans who sit at bottom at West Stand, all in a line. near the Cop, and he would always, and he got to know them all. He got to know them all, and he'd come up and give them a hug and a chat, you know. And in every single game, he would do that. He was a big softy, really.
Yeah, that comes across, to be fair, when you see him on TV. He is a real gentle soul, and in a bit of a hard body, really. Hard exterior, but yeah, he was an absolute legend. Like I say, I remember him more playing for Wimbledon and stuff. And my Leeds memories are just YouTube, really, and what I've seen and read. Read a lot of books and stuff on stuff. And yeah, Vinnie Jones, like I say, Danny's put him on there 10 months, mate, in total, which is wild. His mural of him painted on the wall, as you'll have seen in Leeds.
Only 10 months. What a Jesus!
Yeah, 10 months. How mad's that? It's crazy. It's got at least tattoo on his leg. But yeah, the madness, mate.
I've seen, I went to that premiere of the '92 film. What's it called? Do You Want to Win?
Yeah.
And Vinny went to that, and I were going up. All fans could go. You could get a ticket, and I were going up escalator in Trinity Centre behind this bloke in this kind of lilac suit. And I was just stood behind him. I didn't know, and I just thought, bloody hell, he looks hard. Jesus Christ! And when we got to the top of the escalator, it was Vinny.
Wow! Did you say out to him?
No, I didn't know. I left him to him. He was getting mobbed. You know what I mean? Wilco turned up as well, and I think Strachan turned up that night as well. But they were all really nice, and they spent ages with fans that night. I remember.
Class that. Obviously, I know music's like your massive passion. A lot of people in chat, if they don't know, but actually in a band at one point with John Moss, the old Premier League referee. Is that right?
Oh, I mean, Moss were in a band in the 90s. Yeah, I've known John a long time.
Yeah.
We were going to get it back together because when he got his record shop a few years ago in Headingley, Sky wanted to do a feature on. Well, they did a feature, good story in it, referee record shop and all that. Yeah. And they wanted to do a little documentary on us getting band back together, so we started rehearsing again, which were hilarious. We couldn't remember words, and we couldn't remember, when does Middle Eight come in and all that. And then COVID hit, you see, because we were going to do a gig at the end of it, and they were going to come and film the gig and everything for Sky. But then COVID hit, and it all sort of went down the pan, really. So we couldn't do it for ages. So,
are you still in a band now, though? Obviously not with him, but
for the first time in my life, COVID killed off last band. I were in a really good tribute, sort of 60s band. It was pretty good, it was pro level sort of thing, and we were doing functions and stuff, and then COVID sort of knackered that in, and one of the lads moved to London, and I do need to get playing again because I'm getting itchy.
I was going to say, as a musician, obviously, I don't know. I mean, I like to do a bit of singing, mate. Not to your level, but like, it must be something when you have a period of time and not doing it. I can imagine like not going to a Leeds game for however many weeks must be so frustrating. Yeah. I mean, you're a drummer, not playing drums for years. You must be tapping stuff in kitchen when you don't wash it up.
I'm doing paradiddles with knife and fork and stuff, and it is doing me. I don't miss the lifting, lifting all the gear, and I've got to the point now. If I could get a young kid like a roadie and say, right, I'm going to earn 200 quid tonight. You can have money. I'll just turn up and play my songs. Yeah. You do all lifting. You can have my fee. I'd do that. Do you know what I mean? Because lifting all gear at 1 o'clock in the morning back into the house and out of a van and all that, you're like, bloody hell, I'm getting too old for this stuff. But I was in bands playing his own stuff for years and years,
Oh, really?
Some bands, we nearly got signed, got close. But Alan McGee were going to sign us at one point. Alan McGee's the guy who discovered Oasis. And he were really into us, and he were giving us all sorts of gigs in London. And he was going to manage us at one point, and then it fell through. But if he'd have managed us, I think we'd have been on as well then, because he were really into it.
I can imagine how exciting those moments must be, when you're with your mates and you get an inkling someone's into you. Those moments must be. I know you didn't quite get there, but it must be amazing to be thinking, "Oh, this bloke wants to sign." It must be a really exciting time for you.
It was, and it was so near but yet so far kind of thing, in touching distance of it. Do you know what I mean? And he actually said, "You're the best rock and roll band I've seen since I signed those bloody Gallagher boys," or something he said.
Maybe
yeah, he did. I've always remembered that. And that was like, bloody hell, that's all right. And then the Charlatans needed a new manager. They'd obviously been famous for a long time. Yeah. And he said, "I don't think I've got the energy, lads, to break a new band from scratch." Because he'd made his millions then with Oasis and stuff. And we were like, "No, you have, Alan. You have. Just have some Red Bull or some Monster. Just, have more cocaine. Just get some energy from somewhere." But we had some laughs with that band. It was a good band, that. Bloody good band. Dirty Vinyls, we were called. Good band, that.
Good name as well. Is that the band where I heard earlier that you think you were the first people to play Wonderwall live. That is a cool story. Is that a different band?
That was Mossy's band with Mossy.
Tell us about that, because that's cool, that, mate. That's
it's funny, isn't it? One of our mates got hold of a promo of the second Oasis album months and months and months before it came out. And obviously, after Definitely Maybe, that was the album that the whole country were waiting for. I started doing tape-to-tape cassettes of it and flogging it in the original Oak for a £5.
Class.
To lads who had floppy hair and, you know, and Adidas trainers on. I made about £300. Highly illegal, obviously. But we got out of this. It must have been 6 months before it came out, and we had it all, this album, and Wonderwall, what song that stood out because it were acoustic. You know, they hadn't really done it like that before.
Totally different, wasn't it?
Totally different and romantic. And you knew that song was going to blow up because you thought these lyrics are going to appeal to everybody. It's universal. It's everyone who's got a girlfriend or they love somebody. This song's going to really send them. You could just tell. And we started playing it in this band Power Sleep, in our band with Mossy. We used to play at Duchess of York and all sorts of pubs, and it was a bit disheartening because everyone would go, well, yeah, your bands were all right, but what's that song about the wall? That were really good. And we were like, oh, well, yeah, that's a cover version. You'll probably hear about that in 6 months' time. But we must have been one of the first bands in the world to play that live, because unless somebody else somewhere in a different country got out of a promo and they were playing it, I don't know, but
you played it live before Oasis, that's for sure.
Well, we definitely did, yeah. We definitely did. There we go.
So when it comes to music, is that your biggest love, or is it football? Is it probably music, if you're honest?
It's very, very close. It's probably music, you know. It's like Brexit, 52-48. You know what I mean? It's that close.
Yeah. Never play drums again, or never go to Welling Road again. Ooh.
Oh, you see that I might go with Ellen Road.
Yeah.
Because I can still listen to music. If I can't play, that's bad. But if I couldn't listen to it,
yeah, that'd be unbelievable.
That'd be more important than going to Ellen Road. I think
probably would, wouldn't it?
I could handle not playing.
The world of no music, Andy, is a pretty sad world, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know someone called Daz Haley?
Daz Haley, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, my mate Sean from Wilco White's Dirty Vinyls. Andy, do you know someone called Daz Haley? Do you want to touch on that?
Daz Haley was guitarist in Dirty Vinyls, yeah. He's a Leeds fan.
There you go, Sean. Small world.
Yeah, good guitarist, Daz. He could write good tunes. He wrote some belters, did Daz.
Did you have obviously cover band and you did your own stuff? What did you prefer doing, the covers, or did you actually enjoy writing your own music? Were you involved in writing songs, or how did that come about?
I preferred doing my own stuff, doing your own stuff, and when you think this is great and you know get a load of this is a great song. When Dirty Vinyls finally split up, I ended up in a covers band, and first gig I did, you know, like 3 weeks after playing for Alan McGee, we were playing Dewsbury Road Working Men's Murdering Twist and Shout, which went into La Bamba, would you believe?
Really?
Because it's basically the same song if you think about it. And I remember looking at our bass player, who was the guy from the bass player from Dirty Vinyls, going, shoot me, just chuffing, shoot me now. But then somebody came and gave us £200 each end of gig. Well, like we were playing for Alan McGee, it was costing us £200.
Right.
And I thought somebody's paying us to murder these covers. And after a while, you just think, well, if I'm going to be in a covers band, it's going to have to be good.
Yeah.
And we got to a pro level of that. And, you know, you get too old, you can't be famous when you're 40s. You know, it's not going to happen, is it? So you just, if you want to keep playing, just get in a covers band and make sure it's bloody good.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in my 50s now.
And you just said you can't get famous in your 40s. You got famous.
Well, but that's when I know. So that's not going to happen now, is it? You know what I mean?
No, I don't know, mate. Look, everyone knows who you are now, pal. Everyone knows who you are these last 5 years. Let's be fair.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you meant
can't get famous, mate. Yeah, whether it's music,
I don't know about.
Everybody knows who you are, haven't they? You're modest. You're too modest, you. I know. I can tell.
It's a bit weird, all that stuff in it. But
I can imagine it's really strange, mate. People knowing you when you don't know them, saying, "All right, mate." And I can only imagine. I've not had it yet, so I've had it once since I've had this channel. Once at a Leeds game, someone was like, "Matty, Like, do I know you? And Imagine Not Being Leeds. I had like 300 subs. I was buzzing, Andy. I was like, oh my God. Someone saying to Mrs. This was at Leeds game. He's saying, it's Matty who I watch every night. And I was like, fucking, that was so strange. probably won't get it again forever, to be honest. But it was nice. Very weird.
It can freak you out, and there's always somebody who has a go at you as well. Like, I've had really bad abuse and stuff. I've had to get police involved with certain things, and that's been a real surprise and not a nice one. Do you know what I mean? I've had a death threat. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of mad.
What is scum fan?
No, I don't know. Somebody wrote R.I.P. Andy on the actual street sign at the end of my street. And we had to get police. And then I've got a neighbour at the moment. My dad's neighbour we had to send police round to him and threaten him with arrest for continued harassment and abuse because he just hates my paintings and he thinks they shouldn't be allowed. And it got really, really bad.
Do you get bogged down with? I know that's severe. That, I mean, obviously, but do you get bogged down with minority because the majority love your stuff? Does the minority bother you? Like, I'm someone who I can have 100 good comments. I'll always remember the bad one. If you get me, I'm one of them. What are you like as a person? Andy?
I am. I think there's certain element of human nature in that, isn't there? And because, like, I had a 1,000-word essay from this artist once sent me a Twitter DM saying what a disgrace I was and what an egomaniac I was and you know, I've never met this guy. Don't know anything about him, and he's this honestly like this 1,000-word thing DM, really disturbing. You know, just saying all these awful things about you. Going, I've never met you. You don't know anything about me whatsoever. I had to report that to police because my friend were a copper, and she said this is disturbing stuff. You need to get this recorded as evidence in case it escalates. And when it's on your phone. And I had to keep it on my phone as evidence. So when this horrible thing's on your phone, you're like, don't look at it. But eventually you do. I don't know why you do. And then it is strange. Yeah. So I've got better at ignoring some. I don't get many, but I guess get the odd message saying, "Will you just pack it in? Stop doing it. I'm sick of it," and all that. And you just
mad when it's something that's so joyful and playful and nice. I don't understand why you'd rather look at a green box or whatever than something nice paint. I honestly, it begs to differ. But like I say, we'll move into that bit now. So,
okay.
I think I watched one of your podcasts earlier from a few years back, and I think you touched on you're in a bit of a bad place mentally before, as you started painting the street box. Is that right? Is it sort of entwined with getting out there and doing bits? I know we had COVID as well, which were nice to get out. Just explain that time when you first started painting, how you were feeling in life, Andy, and what the painting did for you.
It wasn't good. My career had gone downhill. My school that I was teaching in, this was quite a few years before the painting, but I'd had my son out of wedlock. It was a Catholic school, and they'd kicked me out of the school for doing this terrible thing of having a child out of wedlock with my long-term girlfriend. And then my career went downhill after that. I couldn't get myself back into it properly, really. And so I was kind of stumbling along with bits of teaching and stuff and doing bits of PE teaching and bits of supply and all that. And then split up with my long-term girlfriend. My mate jumped off a bridge. My mate he was in quite a famous bank called Frightened Rabbit. He took his own life. Mum got cancer. And then my sister's little girl died as well.
Were these all close together, Andy, or spread apart, but you never really...
Yeah, no, they were all within a really short period of time, and it was quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I'd sort of just started painting the odd box with my friend just to cover up all the graffiti tagging around here, because it's pretty horrible.
Yeah.
But then I started to do Leeds United ones, and then when all that horrible stuff started happening, I just found myself painting, thinking, well, I think this has helped me tonight. It's taken my mind off it a bit, and it's been quite therapeutic, you know. And I can't really draw, you know, so I was using stencils and stuff. Well, I've never even tried drawing, to be honest, but I can't, you know, if I drew a dog, it'd look like some weird coffee table by the time I'd finished or something. I don't know. And I just found, hang on, this is quite therapeutic, you know. And I'd never really found that before. Before it was music for me, drumming, you know, and being lost in a song and all that's very therapeutic. But it kind of coincided with that. So I started doing it more. And when Grace was dying, when my little niece was dying, she had 6 months to live, so we knew it was coming. That were a really difficult time. She was only a year old when she died, and this 6 month period of waiting for this thing to happen is quite hard. It did me head in, basically. I don't know what the technical term is, but I'll just say did me head in.
Yeah.
And so I started painting a lot then, and I did a box for her, and that helped my sister a bit, I think, and it sort of it seemed to stem from that, really.
I mean, it's like, to me, you know, it seemed like such a random thing to do, but I know you said walk. It just seems so random, but it's so obvious as well. I mean, the bloody horrible, ugly little BT boxes, and like you said, you normally walked at game and you just sort of fixated on them. I could make these nice, and I mean, what I really like about them is, you know, the moments you've got quotes from commentators on some of them. You've got old badges, old players. The Gary Speed one, which I'd like to move on to, because I'm massive on mental health, and Gary Speed's like a symbol of a massive symbol at Leeds. And I mean, you did the Gary Speed one, didn't you? And that actually got covered, didn't it? That actually got painted over by some, I'm going to say arsehole, I think. Is that right?
Well, he was again a disturbed person, sent these anonymous emails into Evening Post saying he'd painted over all of them that I'd done, even Gary Speed one. I'd done about 6 or 7 round ground, and he painted over them in special paint that wouldn't allow me to repaint them. The emails were all properly encrypted, so they couldn't be traced. I mean, quite weird, disturbing stuff again.
Yeah.
And it's quite threatening and quite sinister. And the brilliant thing about that was there was such an outcry of, you know, what you done this for, you horrible bloke, kind of thing. That's when the club got involved. So now I work with the foundation. The club paid me to repaint them. It was in all the papers, wasn't it? They were on the front page at Chuffing Evening Post. I just went into News Edge one day. My face were on front page. I'm like, what the hell's that? It was like, that's the picture for me Match.com picture that I've got on Tinder. I don't know what the hell. Anyway, but yeah, so and I remember people saying he's even done the Gary Speed one, and he wrote back to the Evening Post and said, "Who's Gary Speed? I don't even care." And I think it would have been Gary Speed's 50th birthday, the day that he did it. And he just went, "Well, I don't care about, you know, and all that," and eventually stopped doing it. But again, that was really weird stuff.
I mean, I don't understand why anyone would have a problem with it. I really don't. It's just some.
If I were writing something offensive, something racist, even something controversial, Brexit, or I don't know, whatever it might, political, but it would just, you know, they were all covering. No one complained when they were covered in graffiti tagging. No. That were fine. But when I did a nice picture to do with the area or to do celebrating the city, then that were horrible. And you're like, that doesn't even make sense.
Had your paintings been called graffiti before by these people? Do people sometimes look at yours like graffiti? Have you ever had that tag before? Because
I think it was just like, we haven't asked for this, so where has it come from? But you're like, well, you didn't ask for all graffiti squiggles either, so why didn't you complain about them? And
it's bizarre.
And it's not like I've done, and again, I've done some of them, painted bloody flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you get angry about flowers?
Honestly, some people just have no better to do than moan, do they, and sulk. And I mean, obviously, a lot of them are Leeds United based, and whether you're a football fan or not, I mean, what, you're a Green Box fan? I mean, come on, it's just get over yourself. Like, you know,
it was very strange.
I remember when it broke that. I remember when it broke it news, and I was like, what is going on here? Just leave him be. Leave him be. You know.
But that bloke, if I saw him now, I'd take him out for a pint, because he literally changed. He turned it into a job for me, if you think about it.
It's crazy, that, mate.
It all stemmed from him being an arsehole and being horrible, and I've now made a living out of it, really, because of it all blowing up from him doing that.
Put the spotlight on you, didn't it, Andy? It put the spotlight on you.
It did.
Know, I suppose it's all right having all these great paintings on these, but if no one sort of knows who's doing it and why, but then, like you say, spotlight's on you, it comes out in press, the next thing you're doing it as a job, so it's crazy, really.
He must be so annoyed.
He'll be fuming, mate. Absolutely raging, mate. He'll just take his dog. His dog will just cock its leg up against one of your boxes every day. Like,
yeah. That's all right. I can handle that. That's all right.
So yeah, obviously with those boxes, you know, you're doing them. Bielsa's at Leeds, or he comes to Leeds maybe just after. You know, around that period of time, mate. Like, how good were Leeds, as, going back, 4 or 5 years, like, what a city. I mean, even encapsulated with you doing these paintings, it were all intertwined. Leeds playing well and your paintings, it all came together for me as a whole. It was unbelievable.
You're right. It was because he were finally a bit of light at end of the tunnel, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because I don't really think I'd have started doing the Leeds United ones if we didn't have this tiny bit of hope for the first time in 16 years, wasn't it? However it was, of being rubbish, and he sort of, enthused me to do it, because you think, God, something could be happening here. We could do something again for the first time in so long. So, and also he was brilliant to paint, wasn't he? He was so, with his weird little idiosyncrasies. But it would just, I said to my Danny, I said, right, okay, even if we do win the Champions League in 30 years' time, right? Even if we do win it and we become like Man City and we're winning trophies every week in 2037 or something, I don't think it'll ever feel as good as it did when Bielsa were here. There was just something about what he did and how he was as a bloke, what he did with those average players, what he just changed the mood of everything. He was a brilliant role model. He was humble. It just felt, even when we were getting hammered.
We didn't even mind, Andy. We didn't even mind. It was so weird. No,
I wasn't that bothered, because it were always exciting.
Yeah,
it were almost comical how gung-ho we were in a way, but we're like, bloody hell, we're still going for it. This is mad, but it's ace. Yeah. And I'd just look down at him on his little bucket and just think, I just love you, man. I just love you, and I'm just glad you're here.
Yeah, and I mean that would. I mean, when you look at the football, it spoke for itself. He turned water into wine. He had these average players. Well, let's be fair. He never comes to Leeds. Phillips never goes to City. He never plays for England. Bamford don't get an England cap. These players are nowhere to be seen if it's not for Bielsa, and they know that, and they'll all admit that when they retire and they do the dinners and the speaking. It's all going to come out and watch when they all retire. We're hearing it now with Dallas and things like that. These people went to, extreme levels, what they'd never hit. But like, I do feel like that period of time, your paintings as well, just going back to them, encapsulated the city, though. It brought it all together. And I mean, I know you didn't paint it solely on your own, but there's that one next to Aston in Wortley.
Yeah.
What's it called? The Bielsa?
Bielsa the Redeemer. Me and Nick Dixon.
What a painting.
What a painting, I know.
Mate. How long did that take you to do?
It was Nick's design, really. I just threw a few ideas in, but it were 4 days. I think it were 4 full days. And we did a night as well, because we projected the Bielsa with his arms out. We projected that on and then outlined it.
Oh, did you? Wow.
Yeah. So that were 4 full days. We did it for It was for
class
for that local footy ground around the corner that they were trying to kind of publicise, saving it. Harrison, TD Harrison ground. That's the one. I haven't seen it for ages. I think it still looks all right. No one's trashed it or out. I think it still looks okay.
No, I think it is, yeah. But no, that there is class, and I'm assuming it was scissor lift job, cherry picker job, whatever it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. We had a scissor thing, yeah. And it were good. It were good fun, that. And that went round the world, that thing, I think.
Yeah, it did, mate. I saw that everywhere. To be fair, I didn't even realise you'd had part of that. I wasn't too sure how it was, but when I watched your podcast from last year, earlier, and you said you'd done it with him, I was like, that's probably my favourite one. It's absolutely symbolic, that, it has been, now since it's been up, I love it. I've had a few selfies with it. Every time I go past it, I've got a picture with it, mate. You've had it with me. I've had it with your painting, but probably my favourite, like, typical Burley Banksy sort of one is the one on Whitehall Road, the alien one. I think it's sort of come away a bit now. I can't.
It's knackered now, isn't it? Yeah.
Are you gonna touch it up for me, mate? Because I really
need to. I want to do this, a bit of wall and on each side of it as well. So I want to do like a 3 thing, a trimester. No, I don't know. I want to do 3 of them anyway, each side of it. Yeah, and that's gonna have to be a summer job, innit? But last time I drove past it, it were all this expensive paint that's meant to have it says 25 years on tin. What a load of bollocks.
A good old English weather for you, mate. It's
I know.
Not going to stand that long, but yeah, that's probably my favourite. I mean, have you got a favourite piece that you've done? Favourite design, or just a favourite symbolic one you've done?
There's a couple. One of the first ones I did were right on Lowfields Tunnel, and it's just, first line of Matching On Together. Here we go, Leeds United. And I thought that really worked, because it's kind of, here we go. We're about to literally go under the tunnel and see the stadium.
Yeah.
And it just sort of works well, doesn't it? Here we go, Leeds United. We're just about, it's the first line of match on together, all that kind of thing. I love Bill's Road as well. There were these 4 little metal sort of bollard things that nobody knows why they're there for. They've been there for about 30 years. They were all rusty and no one knows what they're for. And I just turned them, there's like 5 of them, into a little homage to Promotion 1990 with all players' names on, like, and all slightly unsung people like Vinny and Imre Varadi and Peter Haddock. And it says, I think it says Sergeant Wilco's Barmy Army. If you're sort of walking past them, and it's not aesthetically that brilliant because it's just these 4 little daft poles. But I just think, well, I made a what's the thing? A purse out of a sow's ear? Is that a phrase?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, and I like the Gary Speed one because he was one of my favourite players, and he was my sort of era and all that. And it's obviously a nice memory. It's a nice little memorial for him, isn't it, hopefully.
100%, mate. Are you going to do any new ones, Andy, when we get promoted, or have you got any new ones in pipeline anywhere abouts, or is it just when you feel you just go do one? Or
I have got a few scribbled down in my little sketchbook. I want to do a Will Ferrell one.
Is this the Anchorman one you've talked about before?
Yeah, I've got to
do an Anchorman as well, and I
want to do a Will Ferrell one to do with Leeds, and I want to do. I started a couple towards the end of the summer, and then the weather was so horrific, I just had to leave them. Just little shirt ones and stuff like that. And I've got a few daft ideas, and also they've put some new boxes in around the Leeds United roundabout because of the roadworks. So there's some new canvases ready, if you like.
You must see it. You must see a box go up and just be like, yes.
I know, it's really sad. It's really sad.
You're only one realising these BT fibre optic boxes that you don't have no clue what's in them, probably, Andy. No offence. I'm assuming you're not bothered what's in them. And you just
I'm not bothered, no.
That's a canvas for me. I love that.
It's really sad, isn't it? I go past and go, oh, look at that. Look at that. It's a new one. It's a new one.
Not sad at all, mate. It's not sad at all. I love that. I wanted to ask you because I go to every home game. I'm only a member. I'm not a season ticket holder, but I go to every home game, and I like to sit in the East Upper. Did you have anything to do with the staircase going up? Because there's some beautiful artwork going up there.
No. I wanted to. They won't. I've asked. They don't. I don't know if the club likes me stuff anymore. I don't know. They won't.
They've got someone else to do that, Andy. Is that somebody else? To do all that? Wow.
Yeah. And I was meant to do a mural in the Cheese Wedge, an equality diversity one, which I did all the designs for. And we'd agreed on a price and everything, and then that just stopped, and I never heard anything. So I don't know. I don't know if the club have sort of, I don't know, don't like me stuff anymore.
Is this maybe with owners changing, Andy? Maybe or not? Is that anything? Because has it come around same time?
No, some of it were before owners. I did a little thing at South Stand when we got Adidas. They got me to do a little, and they did a little film about it. And I was painting like it was like a teaser thing for when we got us first Adidas kit. Was that first year at Prem when we got promoted? I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think and
I did something then. But then I would always say, look, I could do something in South Stand. I could do this. I could do that. And they always just went, oh, we don't know. And I think they just, I don't know what happened really. So I don't think they're that keen on my stuff. I don't know. But I did have a range of stuff in Club Shop, and that all sold out. So I don't know.
The mad one, that really. Like you say, are you still part of is it the Leeds Foundation? Are you still part of that side of things?
Yeah.
Do you charity work on behalf of them? Like what's that entail?
Yeah, I work for Foundation. So I go into high schools as a guest speaker with some other guest speakers, and we talk to kids like this. Like there's about 5 of us going, and like one guy's an ex-gang member, and he says, don't go down this path, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I go in and talk about how art can help you and can get you focused on something else and that kind of thing. We do a bit of art with kids, and we do it all day in high school. I do that quite regularly. I used to do a lot in primary schools, but I don't know, they've stopped answering their emails about that because I'm a primary school teacher, and it seems to make sense that I would do loads of stuff in primary school, but they've stopped answering emails and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what's happening really. I had a meeting with them recently we've got a new CEO of the foundation now, who seems great. But I'm still waiting, and I put loads of ideas forward, and they loved all the ideas, but I haven't heard anything. So
it's a lot of time consuming stuff for you, though. You've got other stuff to be doing, and you're putting all these ideas together, going for meetings. For not to come of it must be quite frustrating.
It can be, yeah, I'll be honest, it can be. you know, I've offered to do stuff for No as well, you know, and things like that, and do stuff on a match day and things like that, and they seem to like all the ideas. When I went a few months ago, but I hadn't heard anything, so I'll give them a nudge, you know, soon, kind of thing. But
tell them Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds will come down and chin you. Not that it'll matter, but just say it anyway. Because for all they know, I could be hard as they. I'm not, mate. My music tastes like Westlife and Boyzone. So honestly, mate,
really,
I'm joking. It's a little bit harder than
right.
Like Aqua and stuff like that. I'm joking. I'm a daft sod, really, mate. But yeah, I just want to say, when it comes to you, mate, right? Obviously, I've seen all these paintings and stuff around Leeds for years, and it wasn't until I watched the documentary Take Us Home, right? And I watched you and your boy have the best moment probably of that whole documentary. You had the Pablo moment. You had the Swansea game. And I remember you, that Welsh wizard, or with his come on, or he had his. Honestly, your voice went to a different pitch. I didn't know a male could hit me. It was unbelievable, right? Look how embarrassed you are. It was such a good moment, Andy, though. But honestly, to see you, and I don't know, I'd like to know, was that a live reaction? Did you already know what it because I don't know how it works.
No. God, no, they were just filming us, and we were watching it on a laptop. Class. Actually, we were watching it on a laptop here on this coffee table here.
Class.
And they were just filming it. So I ended up sounding like I were in Bee Gees, didn't I? I was going like, yeah,
mate. Honestly, I could.
But apparently I do that all the time. Danny says when we go to the match, if like the opposition are getting close, I start going, get rid of it. I start doing this Bee Gees voice. I don't know where it comes from.
You don't have to be a drummer no more, mate. You can definitely hit them notes, pal. You can. It was hilarious. What a moment that was, because like you say, your voice just went from that to.
Wow, well, when it happened, actually, I jumped. I think I've only ever watched it once because I was so mortified about the voice thing. I jumped on Danny here, smashed my arm on radiator, nearly broke my arm. It came out in this massive deformed lump, right?
Yeah, did it?
The sole of my trainer came off and flew across the room. And me watch smashed in half because I smashed the arm on radiator. And cameraman were going, "This is gold stuff. This is gold. Look at state of your arm." And he was filming this, you know, this derelict watch that were on the floor. And then that got cut for some reason. I don't know. I can't remember what they used now. I don't know. But it were all done. Yeah, we're all done in live, like. Because there's a bit where they film me at half time, don't they? And I'm like, I can't cope with this. It's doing me head in. And
you're making a brew. I think you were making a brew, mate, and you went, "I need something stronger." And you went, "Valium." And I can almost remember every word you said. You went, "Got any Valium?" And I was like, "This guy's just class."
But that's what it's like watching, and it's never easy. It's never, ever easy with Leeds, is it? And that goal,
what a moment, mate!
That goal where you think even we can't mess this up now.
Yeah, that was a turning point. Yeah.
There was still a bit of doubt, but you just thought, my God, that has to be the moment where that's it. We're going to go up. We're actually going to do it after 16 years.
How good was Pablo, by the way? How good was Pablo?
No, we've never replaced him, have we? Never.
No.
If we had a Pablo now, we'd be 10 points clear. I'm telling you.
Is that missing piece? And like I say a prime Pablo at 33, 34, but shit out one here, but unreal.
I think we got rid of him a year early, personally. I think he could have done another year. But
I think so. I mean, he went and played another year, didn't he, back at his own club, didn't he, in Spain? But he would have had it. I mean, we were bringing him off a bench, weren't we, for that first season in Prem, you know, to do like 45 minutes. We were rotating with Tyler Roberts, which was mental. But
one mental. Pablo, I think he could do a job now at 38 or whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just that one ball. It's that when they park the bus, it's just that ball through, and that's all we need because we've got everything else.
Yeah, unbelievable. So, mate, just a quick name, mate. Does Andy know a guy from the foundation called Gary who does programs? Or Barry? It's changed to Barry. Do you know anyone called Barry at the foundation?
Oh, is he that lad who did a sponsored walk or something recently? I think I do know him. Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but yeah. So, like I say, my sort of memories of you, mate, come from that. I had to get that bit in as well about your voice. So yeah, I'm buzzing you. Actually, I'm buzzing you. Quite embarrassed about it. It's made it quite a nice little chat about it. To be fair, I'm
watched it once, never watched it again. Honest to God,
I'm gonna watch it again later and record it and email you it over just to remind you, mate. It was class, mate. To be fair, like I say, even down to documentaries and stuff all that time. I mean, it was just I could talk about it all day, mate. That couple of years under that absolute genius. It was like everyone's granddad. Everyone just loved him, didn't they? You know.
I met up with Bamford once. Long story, but I met up with him for a couple of hours, and just the way he talked I always told him I'd never talk about our meeting, if you like, because you don't.
No.
He won't mind me saying this, but the way, I don't know, just when he talked about Bielsa, he was very open about it, and you could just tell in his face how much he loved him, sort of thing. And he told me a little story that somebody did for him. I won't go into that. But it was so lovely. It was a private little thing he did for Patrick that was so lovely. And you just think, no wonder that you all just ran through a brick wall for him. Do you know what I mean? He would, and I mean, you remember that time apparently Coops' son was ill in Hull, and Bielsa just turned up in the hospital out of the blue or something.
Yeah. Instantly getting players on side with that, and he ain't doing it for that reason, but instantly, like you say, you would run through a brick wall for him when he cares about your family and not about the weekend. Family first, weekend second.
Yeah.
How can you not love a guy like that? And that's just so rare these days. So rare.
And that he did something not similar, but it was something to do with Patrick's family that was really lovely like that and really caring. And you just think, that's why you scored all them goals, because because of that, because you loved him, you respected him so much. So it was. You'll never get another Bielsa. I mean, when people come in my shop, I've had the shop last Christmas and stuff like that, and all basically 99% of the time, it's just blokes who want to talk about Bielsa.
Is that the main talking point when you speak to anyone about Leeds through your work now? Is it usually that era?
Yeah, it honestly is, and even kids. But it's any bloke over about 25, they'll buy something. We'll have a little chat about what happened at the weekend or whatever, and all that. The last game, but they'll see one of my Bielsa prints or something, and they'll buy a Bielsa mug, and then they'll just go. They just can't help themselves. Everyone, and there'll be a wife stood there going, "Oh God, here we go again, love." But you go, no, you don't understand. You don't understand what this guy meant. And even some women, to be fair, are just like, we'll never have another time like that. Do you know what I mean?
Let's say my partner's not in football at all, but under Bielsa, she couldn't get enough of it either. A lot of women that weren't that bothered, kind of loved it as well because of just the feel good factor. And
even my mum did. My mum did. She started asking about what's he done this weekend, what's he said, and has he done anything? Has he done anything a bit strange this weekend? Has he said something nice and all? And she started asking about the results, and then she was like, "Oh, I really want Leeds to go up just for this Marcelo because he seems so lovely." It's just, it's weird, isn't it?
So many moments, didn't it? Spygate, then letting Villa score a goal. So many moments where you look back now and just go, "Never forget him." You just can't never forget him. Just best time of my life as a football fan. Absolutely.
So many. Just out of the fact when he used to put his Adidas woolly hat on, it we're always on the wrong way, and it was always on monkey, and I just loved that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sat there with a Costa, sat on his bucket, just so low maintenance, just not a caring world really. It's just one of a kind. But do you feel like moving on to more recent times, Farke is always going to be compared to that? I mean, let's be fair, you take Bielsa out of it, mate. Farke's right up there as one of his probably best managers for the last 20 years. If you take, since like O'Leary, you're probably talking Farke. It's just Bielsa. And do you feel like anybody after Bielsa, obviously Jesse Marsh, we've had a few, obviously that season we came down as well. They're all with Bielsa widows, aren't we? And Farke, I think it's a lot of bad stick really when he probably don't deserve it. How do you feel on Farke, Andy? It's
a bit like trying to take over Alex Ferguson, isn't it, for Man U? It was always going to be a poison chalice a bit, wasn't it? I think he's done fine. I think he's done great. I mean, people say it's not that boring. I don't think. I know we go across the penalty box a lot and all that kind of thing, but I think that's because we haven't got anyone to play the killer pass. But we are generally looking to attack all the time.
I think so.
Do you know what I mean? And
it's usually the other side, isn't it? Like we saw at Burnley, and also when we're at Ellen Road a lot, like you go to games, they'd always sit back. So it's more the other side of making us have to play a bit like that. You can't just bomb forward when there's 11 people in fucking box.
And it's even hard for Man City or Liverpool with all their attackers to get through. If Southampton go and put 10 man behind ball or a mid-table team do, it's hard to get through. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's done. I mean, his point is something like 1.89 points per game.
Just over 2 points now, mate.
Is it? Bielsa was something like 0.2 more. You know what I mean? But he's done fine. He's fine, and his job is to get us promoted, no matter what. Do you know what I mean? That's his job, and we're ahead of schedule from even Bielsa's second season, aren't we? I think he's got more points. Yeah. He's doing fine. I just wish he'd wear some different clothes. Just wear a different colour, man. Just put a pair of white shoes, pair of jeans on, something, I don't know. But just, he can't have a blue, because he got a white polo t-shirt he could wear, has he got a pink one?
You need to send him some paint splattered jeans or something, mate. Give him some of them to jazz it up a little bit of colour.
And right, his trousers are weird, you know. They've got a drawstring on them. They're like pajamas. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway.
Really smart on top, and then some pajama bottoms on just to end the look.
He must have a green t-shirt in his wardrobe somewhere, or some. Did he wear like a leopard skin pink tutu when he gets home? I don't know, but you know when he has sex, it's always missionary, isn't it? It's the same position every time.
100%, mate. Yeah, 100% it is, mate. Yeah, I get that. Like a nice bogey green Parker. That's what you're saying. You like Parker boy, yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at your work now, your shop, I'd like to just touch on that, mate, before we sort of wrap it up. So you've had a pop-up shop. Say I've been in there a couple of times myself, and you've sort of decided to open it. I know you're not there 7 days a week or even 5 days a week, but for now it's open. We know where to find you at Merrion Centre. And what are you doing around that? Is it 3 days in there, a couple of days teaching? Like, what's your schedule now, pal?
Yeah, it's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday in shop, I think, and then I'll do my school stuff, foundation stuff, any commissions that I get, I'll do that, you know, in other days basically. Because I don't, like I said, I don't think I earn enough money Monday, Tuesday to make it worthwhile, really. And I can earn, you know, we've all got to earn a living. I can earn more going into a school or whatever than. You might only take 50 quid on a Monday. Do you know what I mean?
Right, shop, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't live on that, can you?
No.
So yeah, and it's going to be there sort of indefinite, really.
Yeah.
So
good.
You know, we'll see how it goes and stuff. But I've basically turned it into a Leeds United museum, because all my stuff that's in my cellar, I collect Leeds United stuff. It's ridiculous. I've got stuff from 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Oh,
I've basically taken half of my cellar and put it in the shop. So I've created like little display sections as well in windows of like programs and key rings from 1972 and all the rest of it.
Worth a visit just for that, isn't it?
Yeah, so even if you don't want to buy out, you can come and have a look. And I've got Subbuteo table set up, fully ready to go. You can have a game of Subbuteo. I've got Leeds against Villa at the moment.
Have you?
Yeah, Leeds, the other team that I bought.
You've created a shop, haven't you, that you'd want to visit if you would. It's literally just what you'd want to go to and visit. The perfect shop.
A bloke came in and went, "This is like a man, you know, a wet dream or a man cave, basically." I was thinking of maybe doing. I'm going to try and get some events in there. So I'm currently chatting to Popey about doing a Q&A sort of thing, you know, and a night with Popey, and you come and any money we'll give it all to charity. I don't, you know, just pay a £5, come in and give it all to charity. Also, we could do like Subbuteo nights where you can bring a few beers if you want, have a game of Subbuteo, have a little Subbuteo tournament for laugh.
Genuinely, I'd be well up for coming in front of them. That sounds class, mate.
It'd be a laugh, wouldn't it? And I'm also thinking maybe we were talking about mental health, and you know, we've both been to Andy's Man Club and stuff.
Yep.
I thought I could maybe do like I don't know, Thursday night or something. Come for a cup of tea and a biscuit, all free, and chat about Leeds United. And, you know, blokes can chat about football easily, can't they? And then they might, if they want to talk about something else, they might want to. But come to the shop, you don't have to buy out. I've got sofas in there and stuff, you know. And we can have a cup of tea and a chat about Leeds and, I don't know, reminisce and stuff. We could call it Bielsa Social Club.
Mate, that'd take off, would that? I'd definitely come with that. I mean, like I say, touching on the mental health stuff, like you visited Andy's Man Club, you know how important it is. I've done podcasts on here, mate, about mental health, and it's so important to talk in it. I mean, I know you said you're not feeling 100% at the minute. You have your down days, like we all sort of do, I suppose. Yeah. But like something like that, mate, it scream out to so many people. Like you say, it's finding that common ground with someone. Like everyone's got, you know, different vices, different problems in their life, but finding something like football, it brings you together. And 100%, I agree. I think that'd be a brilliant idea, Andy. I think you've got onto something there.
Well, I think so. And like Andy's Man Club's Mondays. And so if people are struggling a bit, then they could go, well, you know, Thursdays is a few days later. I could go Thursday. And like I said, if you don't want to talk about bothering you, talk about footy, because anyone, you know, we could all talk about footy, no problem. So, you know, and talk about, you know, did you go to this game? Look at this program from 1973. I went to this game or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? It can be something like that. You know what I mean? You can even bring a beer if you want, and then you can have a game of Subbuteo as well.
That sounds like a mint night, that, mate. Honestly, that's that sounds
hopefully.
Getting a couple of these ones I've just started. So my mate Mark Sutherland from work has said, "What is your favourite match? What's the favourite match you've gone to I suppose, what's your favourite?
Jeez. Oh, whatever. My God.
What's your favourite ever match?
Well, things that stick in memory. Leeds 2, Leicester 1, when a crucial game that were the promotion season, and Leicester equalised. Everyone will know this game. And then Strachan hits one. He's so knackered, he just smashed his one in top corner because he don't know what else to do. And we won that game, and that looked like we were going to mess promotion up with Wilco, and that got us through that game. That was crucial. That goal by Strachan. Have you ever seen a better goal, and have you ever seen one better timed? I need to put that on a box somewhere.
You do actually.
Yeah, because that would from that era, that was so important. The Man United game. I always remember the Man United games. Even if we lose, it's just when we played them in Prem a couple of years back, and we got beat 4-2, were it?
But we made it 2-2, didn't we, for a period in game, and
That's right. And that second goal, they were pissing it down. It was proper old school footy with rain and sliding tackles going in. Atmosphere was amazing. I remember Danny looking at me going, "My God, I've never heard Ellen Road like this before." And I mean, this is what it was like all the time, mate.
Yeah.
It was like an old school game. And when we got that equaliser, it was, oh man, that was amazing.
Roof came off, didn't it?
Yeah. It was, and then they went on and won it because they've got multi-million-pound players and all the rest of it. But it was just
nice for that little moment, wasn't it, Andy? That little moment was nice. Like you say, hope. It's a great thing, but also as a Leeds fan, it sort of gets us down at times. But another one here, mate. What's happened to the people's best moments and favourite play sheets on the wall? Have you still got them? I'm going to ask you about that because I know you had that on the wall. Did it get full?
Yeah, so I did. I'm going to do a new one. I took them down eventually, obviously, and they all got all ripped, and as they do. But I've got one up. I put one up at Christmas again, favourite player one, and that's actually up again. So I'm going to extend that so people can add some more stuff. And I've still got the old ones in the cellar, actually. I don't know. I mean, I should chuck them, really, but it felt a bit wrong to chuck them. Yeah. But I love that. I love how people like contributing, don't they? And I love people always come and read it as well. So when people contribute, it does get read, and people look what he's put, and look what he's put, and look what she's put. And it's kids do it, and dads do it, and granddads do it. So you get a real variety of stuff, obviously, for different eras. And I love that. I love all the different, somebody's favourite player is, I don't know, Imre Varadi from 1988, and then somebody else it's John Charles, and then somebody else then kids come in, and it's Somerville last season anyway.
Who's yours? Who's yours?
Of all time, probably, I don't know, Vinny or Bats, I think.
Yeah, mate, you can't go wrong with them too. Legends.
And then modern day times, I think Dan James, just because he just runs his heart out every game, doesn't he? And I love Berardi as well. Loved him.
You like the hard ones by the sound of it. You like the hard buggers, don't you?
Well, I loved Rutter as well. I loved him. I was really good when he went because he put a smile on his faces again, didn't he?
He really did.
Do you know what I mean?
He played with joy. He played like he was playing at park with his mates as a kid. That's what he felt like.
I loved it, and even when he lost ball, I didn't care because he got you off his seat and he got you laughing and smiling. He'd done something outrageous, and I was so gutted when he left, and he's doing all right, isn't he? Actually, I didn't think he'd be good enough for Prem, but he's doing all right.
He's going better than Somerville and Archie Gray, isn't he? I think Archie's got a bit, a high ceiling. He'll get there eventually. But I never really rated Somerville. I thought Somerville should. I think he should have stayed another year. Maybe to probably see if he could do it again. A lot of them go too early though, don't they? Andy? They do well at Leeds, and they come in with money and they go too early. And we see with how many players have we seen over the last 15 years or so go up and they might have okay careers, but they don't really kick on after Leeds. Happens a lot, but
I think Somerville is obviously top notch for Championship, but I think he's bottom end at Prem, and he'll probably just scootle along now at the bottom end at Prem for years and years and years. But I think Archie will make it properly, and
I think he will.
He's playing in a terrible team at the moment. He's playing out of position, and he looks like he doesn't know what day it is, doesn't he? But
he does.
But he'll get there, will Archie? Sadly.
I know, unfortunately not at Leeds, but need a Yeboah painting if there isn't one already.
I did a Yeboah shirt one, 21 Yeboah thing. I should do. I wanted to do, the famous one of him hitting the volley against Liverpool because there's a really good photograph of him just as he strikes it. I should find like a big box for that one, and I'd put the commentary on it because I love commentary. I don't know about you, but it's
Yeah, I grew up not really watching games as a kid. I used to listen. I used to go to bed well early. But honestly, I had such a sheltered life growing up, mate. I'd be sat there like 18-year-old listening to radio because my TV went off at 7:30. Not that bad, really, but I used to listen to all Champions League games on radio, and I grew up sort of really enjoying that radio feel. Like, I mean, only a few years ago, like Noel Whelan, get in. I've always enjoyed commentary, and certain commentary moments stick in my mind, and they're really iconic. And I'm similar to you, mate. I don't mind the audio rather than just watching. Do you know what I mean? It's really good, and because you can't see it, it's like a different sensation when you listen to a match as well. Yeah, I do enjoy it myself.
I think I've always wanted to be a commentator more than a player, if I'm honest. And I got to be on Radio Leeds at half time once with Popey and Catherine. And she was going, and I was like, I had one of them proper microphones, you know, them square ones at the old up here.
Yeah.
And I was just beside myself or up gantry, like talking about, Leeds in second half up, they'll go on to it. And it was just, honestly, I could have wet myself. I just thought, this is.
I've died of I've met it.
Oh, man. I'm dying to ask Popey one day, Popey, if your co-commentator's ever ill, please, I would kill to have a go. If Tony Dorigo's ever ill for LUTV, because I know Bryn. I played at Bryn's 50th birthday in his back garden, would you believe? In band, yeah. That's the first time I met Bryn. We played in his back garden in summer a few years back now.
Has that come from you doing the paintings? Has that come in the last few years? Or?
No, that was just because he's really into his music, and our guitarists were in a band of his own doing their own stuff, and he'd sort of half started managing them. So he got James, he was called, he knew we were in a cover band as well, and we played at his 50th. And Adrian Childs cooked me a sausage. So there you go. How many people could say that?
I didn't think I'd ever going to hear that line, mate. I'll probably remember that line more than what else I've said.
You're a nice lad. We were chatting about football all day, as you can imagine. But I got interviewed by him on Radio 5 once, about a year ago. And I didn't mention to him that he couldn't remember me, obviously, but I didn't mention to him that he'd cooked me a sausage. And it's been one of my biggest regrets in life to not say to Adrian Childs, remember that time you cooked me a sausage?
That's class, that. That's been right then. I think we'll wrap it up there, mate. Have you got what else you want to add, pal? What else you want to shout out before we?
No. Thanks for having us on. It's been nice to have a chat. Just
get down to your shop and.
Get down my shop, yeah. It's open on Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Above Blue Rinse Vintage Shop, and there's a sweet shop called Sugar Eyes, which was my first shop in there actually originally, and it's just above there. You can see signs. You have to go upstairs, or there's a lift and all that, and even just come and have a chat. You don't have to buy up. Come and have a chat.
Are you open Sunday as well, you say, yeah? Sunday as well?
Yeah, I'm open Sunday, yeah. So that's my weekend's gone, in it for the next 5 years or whatever, but never mind.
Yeah, I might pop in Sunday, so you might see me anyway. But yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Andy. I'm sure to be fair, great. I'm getting great comments and great stream tonight. Again, Mike, thank you. And it's been a different stream. It's normally reviews and previews, and I couldn't have asked for a better first guest really to come on like this and talk. So thanks so much for touching on mental health.
No problem, pal. No problem.
Loved it. Thanks, everyone. Stick a like, please subscribe. And yeah, thanks so much. And I'll see you next one. Cheers, Andy. Thank you.
Okay, ta-ra, mate.
Bye-bye.